special singles match. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. And Rich, like I saw this match and I was completely enthralled by it. And I loved basically every choice they made in the match. And I gave this thing I gave this thing 4 3/4. And I thought for a second, maybe 5. I love the story, I love the intensity, I love how nasty they both got. And it made me realize like this is why I like their style, both their styles of wrestling. Like it's just something about them and the way they build matches and the way they build anticipation and the way they subvert expectations, the way they come up with thoughtful things that in a way is like anybody could do this, but they think at a higher level or they put more thought into this than other people do. That's why this shit works so well. Like the part where he, throughout the whole entire match, it's not even something big. It's like throughout the whole entire match, like Danielson just fucking up Okada's arm. Because the whole story is like, I broke my arm facing you, and like I was embarrassed that I broke my arm, so I want to break your fucking arm in this match. And you won't be able to do the Rainmaker. And there's a point in the match where, like, Danielson throws the kicks and he sets up for the big buzzsaw kick. He sets up for a buzzsaw kick, and Okada goes to block it, and he blocks with his bad arm, and then like he's so hurt by the fucking arm, and he just left open, and then Danielson just fucking blasts his head off again with another kick because he's so much pain he didn't even realize that like he has to block, that he's in danger still. It was like I love this match, and like the thought of like obviously what it is, like he hits him with the Rainmakers and he has to overcome the part where his arm is just fucked and he has to like fight through the pain of after hitting these Rainmakers, he has to make a quick cover to try to put this guy away. And then the part where like Okada is like gotten his ass beat so badly and he's so damaged or whatever else. He's like, all right, you've been getting nasty with these arm kicks and wearing my arm out and lighting me up, whatever else. Take off this fucking eye patch. And he started booting the man in the fucking eye. And I was like, they just getting nasty out there. I just love the match. I just love the match. And it's like this kicked the ass of that match that happened in Wrestle Dream or whatever. It's kicked the ass of it, a Forbidden Door, whichever one it was. And it was like I enjoyed the hell out of this, man. And I think it's the best match I've seen so far this year. It's early. It's not gonna end up being number one. Obviously, someone's going to surpass. There's going to be some crazy shit that happens with Ospreay or whatever else. Ospreay only had like 5 matches better than this. But this is my favorite match of the year so far. I loved it.
I liked it a lot. However, actually, let me build it up a little bit before I knock it down. I thought the best thing kind of about this was just seeing these guys in this environment together on the other side, opposite sides of the ring, before they even make contact with each other. Danielson's entrance. Mm-hmm. I love his gear. I love the fact that he got the pyro and all that for the first time ever in his career. The slow motion video that's come out around it, I think is just one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. Okada with the fucking laser jacket and shit. Like,
yes,
bro.
I don't know. Out here, gears flip flopping colors like Young Dro switches Chevy paint. Yes,
bro. Like, I think it was like a thing. If you got what the fuck he was trying, you thought it was cool. But if you didn't get it, you were like, huh? But if you did get it, you were like, yo, that shit is crazy. Like, but yeah, like I thought they told a really, as you mentioned, like a really like simple story of that. But I feel like this thing would have worked better with Danielson like in the straight babyface role rather than beating up the bigger, larger Okada. More like Okada in control, more like, him fucking Danielson up, Danielson fighting for
I get you.
And
I get you. There's definitely a story in that. I just think that I don't go with your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's just like it didn't like when I see Bryan Danielson, Kazuchika Okada, I'm thinking flat out one of the greatest matches of all time. And I don't think they had that. And it was just like
I agree.
It was like a great match on like a given year, I feel like. And it was just like I didn't like viscerally get into the match like that. It was just like, all right, there's a lot of like, there was some exhibitionism, I think, like with some of the stuff, and just very simple things. Like, but this wasn't like the mind blowing match that I would have looked for. I didn't feel like Danielson really challenged Okada to rise to that level. They did something different, like as far as like Okada
You
was
mean this
almost
from a technique standpoint, or you mean like from a will standpoint?
like from a will standpoint, like a will to win standpoint, like from like I'm challenging your wrestling acumen, your ability, like I'm challenging you just
Well,
to be better than you or whatever. Like this was like
so
something else.
so for me, the story was like they tried to wrestle on the mat, and Danielson quickly took advantage. He's a better technical wrestler, and then he proceeded to once he got the advantage in the match was to beat his ass and break his arm, and then Okada was like, "Fuck, he's breaking my arm. I gotta come up with ways to get out of this, otherwise he's gonna break my fucking arm." That's what I thought the match like. It was choosing tactics, right? Like, Danielson when he wrestled other guys that are like high technique guys, like Drew Gulak or someone like Hell Saber last year, he will lose the points of the mat and chain wrestling to prove to put over that dude's a bad motherfucker, and then also his change in tactics is, but he can't kick like me, so I'll just kick the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so for me, like I thought that was a cool part of the tactics thing was like they're starting this match. Danielson is just having his way with him technically, and then from there now he's proved his point. He's now trying to punish him because he's embarrassed about the arm breaking thing. And like I thought, personally, like the story, they lucked into the story completely, like of the arm, like when they end up getting into it where they're in knuckle locks and they start throwing forearms or whatever else, and it's like Okada's bad forearm going up against like Danielson's bad eye with the eye patch. I was like, they lucked into that. And by luck, I mean a motherfucker broke his orbital bone.
Look, I was gonna say I almost wonder what the alternate timeline is if they both come in healthy or sans injury, and it's like what would the ceiling have been then? Almost. And I thought Okada was very emotive in this match. I thought his selling was awesome. And
I thought
his
selling was phenomenal in this match. Like he was in agony. Like this was probably the best selling I've seen from someone in New Japan this year. No, like I didn't see the G1 this year, so y'all did say like what about these 5 matches? Like I didn't see the G1 this year. But like the way that Hiromu was selling his leg against Eagles last year in their title match early in the year, I was like, this is like the best selling of a limb damage I've seen in New Japan that I've seen so far, and like since then, I just loved it. Like I thought that like Danielson had that man on the brink of tapping out in the dome to this white man, and he just like at the end he's like, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not letting down Nihon, not doing it. And then that man had to reach into his inner Inoki and fight back, and then he beat that man's ass. I really enjoyed the match. I love the match. I thought this was perfectly executed. I thought it was a perfectly executed story for what they were going for.
This ended kind of with a rainmaker and kind of like a quick ending. There wasn't like really like a huge like back and forth finishing sequence or anything like that.
That's true.
And I was like kind of waiting for it, but they didn't do that. So
Danielson doesn't really do that these days.
Yeah.
Like you look at you go through his C2 run. There's not too many of these like bag and floor flurries of a crazy closing stretch. It's more like somebody has their flame extinguished and they're done and it's over.
Yeah, Dave went 5 1/4 on this. I thought he was out of his mind for that.
That's too high. And also that's like what the 3rd time he's ever gone 5 1/4 any match ever.
Yeah,
it's always like that magical go over 5 thing is like it's always 5 or 5.5 or higher. It's never like those 5 1/4s. There's like 3 of them ever. It's amazing. It's amazing how that's worked over these 30 years.
I think there's more than whatever. I think there's more than you think by this point. But for a while,
I'm about to go to cage match right now.
Yeah,
and we finna see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure FTR got one last year with Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Okay.
I think these guys like. I don't know if the chemistry was. I feel like they each have better opponents.
Yeah, of course.
And it was just like maybe this came like I don't know if it came too late necessarily because it wasn't like they're not like I wasn't expecting to be athletically wowed in this match or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe I was looking for something different, but I think for like you mentioned what they were going for, it was awesome. Like it was like just high the I think this is a wrestling school match. Like like
Yeah,
you show
yeah.
this like to be like, hey, you can do this. All you have to do is learn to think and structure the way they do or whatever. But like this isn't like I don't think you show them and be like, yo, you'll never be that. Like this is not one of those. Like
Right. It's not Osprey. It's not Osprey Omega. It's not like Hiromu and Osprey. It's not like Shingo and Osprey. I keep saying Osprey a lot, right? Like it's not like you know Kenny Omega and Naito, right? Where it's like, what? Like
yeah.
you're doing such dangerous shit. It would be irresponsible for you to like show someone this and be like, yeah, do you just copy these moves? Like, nah, man, then you gonna end up in the fucking ER or you gonna end up fucking dead.
You will
Right?
die.
Yeah, but just go ahead and copy that Masao Kabashi match where Masao gives that man a tiger suplex off the horizontal ramp and Kabashi lands ramen back his fucking head. Like, no, you'll die. You'll die.
Oh man. But yeah, main